Can you tell me the story about when you snatched the mic from Puffy during the rehearsal of a, I don't know if it was a if it was an award show or if it was a tribute show, but can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, that show was for the MTV Awards, where basically MTV wanted to do a tribute concert during the awards for a tribute show where Tretch had he had a tribute that he did for Pac. So Tretch was going to sing a song for Pac, and Puffy and Faith Evans had a song that they did for Biggie. I was against it. Steve Lobel, of course, he was trying to advance our career, teach us that, look, you guys got to be more diplomatic. You can't always say you beefing with this person and that person. This is what's going to open up doors for you guys. And the Outlaws wanted to do it. We went out to New York. Big Syke was there as well. But I always been against it. I said, bro, I don't want to be on stage with Puffy. Pac died, not liking this dude, and I just don't want to do it, So they kept, they was like, nah, we got to do it. So we went to rehearsal. And my intention was, I'm going to wait till it's a live show, and I'm going to snatch the mic from Puffy, But I was intoxicated. I didn't really know if it was a live show or rehearsal. I just seen bright lights, you know what I mean? And Puffy came next to me, and I just snatched the mic from him. He tried to grab the mic back. I pushed him. The security guard rushed me. The Outlaws got in the middle, and they basically kicked us out, you know what I mean? And I remember that day, everybody being upset with me. The Outlaws, Run DMC was there. They was kind of upset. Shaquem is a person, he's a managed Queen Latifah. I grew up with Shaquem. And he came to me, and Shaquem was like, Moo, why did you do that? Puffy want to talk to you. And they took me to some stairs, like behind the stairs. Big G came with me. But they didn't want anybody else to come with me. So I went in a small room, and Puffy was there with all his homies, like security. Like, it was a small room, but he had at least 4 or 5 people with him, and just me and G went in there, and Shaquem was there. And Puffy was like, why did you do that, Playboy? And I was like, man, you know why I did it, bro. Let's not go there. And he was like, I'm tired of this stuff. I'm moving to Europe and this and this and that. And nothing came out of it. We left the room, you know what I mean? And we was pretty much blackballed from that day on, where you snatched the mic from Puffy. But for me, I did what I had to do. I just didn't feel comfortable, performing with Puff Daddy. It probably would have been good for our careers. It probably would have opened up doors for us, but I just couldn't do it,
Okay. Can you tell me about in 1998, I think it was early 98, what your reaction to was when you started to see all the songs hit the streets, as far as the Machiavelli bootlegs and all the music kind of starting to flood out and get out into like the swap meets and eventually the internet. But what was your reaction when all that started?
That was crazy, because it seemed like nobody knew where the music was coming from or how did it got leaked. You know what I mean? I remember that I was back in Jersey, back and forth going from LA to Jersey, and everybody at that particular time had some songs leaked from Machiavelli or some of the Pot songs, and nobody knew where it was coming from. So it definitely was weird, where nobody could have put their fingers on it, who leaked it. It was crazy,
Can you tell me a little bit about, I know we talked about the song that Tupac had written for you, the interview of a problem child earlier, but he also did another,
Yes.
he had also written another verse that you ended up recording, and he recorded it, but you used it on the retail version. Can you talk about You Can Be Touched?
Yeah, You Could Be Touched, actually, Pac wrote that. He actually wrote it and also recorded it himself. And one day he came to me and he was like, Moo, this song, these lyrics sound like something you should be saying. Because it started off saying that, I didn't have my parents and, like growing up in a struggle. So Pac was like, it just sounds like something you should be saying. You know what I mean? And he's like going in. And back in the day, for a rapper to have someone else write their songs, it was kind of looked down on. You know what I mean? Even though it's Pac, I didn't want him to write my songs. You know what I mean? But he was the big bro. He had the vision. So he said, this sounds like something you should be saying. So I want you to do it. So that's how I got on that song. I went in there and did his lyrics, and it just fit the song, and we kept it,
Okay.
And we didn't want to change it. I think even after Inner School wanted to, go back and put the original songs on it, But that's when everybody, the Outlaws, was like, no, Pac wanted Moo to do this specifically, and that's why Moo was already on the song. So let's not change it.
Okay. And going back to the Stellar Rise album, a couple of questions on that one. Number one, can you tell me about going in and doing new verses for the songs? Because this was obviously after the bootlegs hit. But also the
Yes.
removal of Fatal. People always want to know what the logic and what the reasoning was for Fatal's verses being taken off.
Fatal verses got taken off because, um, at the end, unfortunately, um, Pac wasn't really, you know, he loved Fatal, but it was some separation. You know what I mean? And I don't want to go into details because Fatal not here to defend himself. So Fatal kind of, he went his separate ways before Pac passed away at the end. You know what I mean? After the New York, he never came back and things like that. So he kind of went his separate ways. Um, and so we decided, and if I'm not mistaken, I think even Pac.
This is all to the Tupac fans and people who know Napoleon personally and know Young Noble Post personally, that we need to get in contact with these two brothers and we need to mend this little drama, so to speak, because it's not looking good. And we just need to come back together collectively as one. I don't like when brothers fight internally. I think that's really messy because you're going to say things that's out of your character that doesn't need to be exposed. And this whole incident is not looking good because imagine if Tupac was there and he was seeing this, what would he say if he was able to communicate after seeing his young brothers, his family, argue and look messy? He would not like it. He would tell them, guys, y'all need to talk on the phone. Don't go to social media. I taught you better than that. Y'all the outlaws, y'all my little homies, y'all know what to do. How y'all gonna be putting y'all business out there like that regardless? I think also Napoleon, since he's a Muslim, he needs to really, really control himself. We know Napoleon back in the days was wild. He looked like he was wild. So I know he's trying to fight it as being a Muslim and trying to conduct himself in a way, but it's still inside of him. Like, we see that. A young Noble on his side, he needs to stop because he just had a heart attack. Bro, listen, it's not worth it. Focus on the good stuff. Don't put that energy into things that don't need to be put into. If somebody violates you, go ahead and do that. But if they're not going to violate you, bro, why try to set the record straight? You should have left it like that, even if it wasn't true. Nobody thinks that you're a punk, that you let somebody eat your burger. But I do understand the outlaw spirit in them, that they have to bring out their truths. So we get that. But this is not looking good, guys. I'm not putting this out to stir up controversy or get clickbait. I'm just showcasing what's being said so it's fair. But I do also want them to mend, and hopefully there'll be a video where I could post up that shows them, piecing it out. That's what I want. And even further than that, making an album together, making some songs. I know Napoleon, he stopped rapping, but I'm sure they could do something together. This is what we want to see, guys. We don't want to see this internal drama. It's not good. It's not something to talk about. You have even other podcast outlets. They're like, whoa, what's going on with you guys? And they're old heads, and they're from New York, and they're saying, yo, guys, y'all need to stop. So that's not a good look. I don't even want to read what Young Noble said about the snatching the Diddy's microphone, because if they clear this up and young Noble retracts his statements, then what's the point of pushing that type of sentiment out there for the public? I know we're used to beef, we're used to friction, but in this case, I think that it's not really cool. Tell me what you guys think. Write in the comments. All right, guys. I'm out.